Good morning, everybody. This is Tao of the Day. I'm your host, Martin John, and I am looking forward to chatting with you about the Tao Te Ching. The Tao is a book that has been in my life for almost 2 decades now, if not about two or more. And I have decided recently, after doing Tao of the Day for almost a year now, to write my own translation or rendition, let's call it my own rendition of the Tao, and I'm excited about that. And always here to take a number from you between 1 and 81. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 600 BCE. Lois, are you in Paris? Oh my God, you're going to join me from Paris. And I think that that's true.
Hey, Martin.
How are you? How's
Can you
France?
hear me? Oh, it's wonderful, confusing, challenging. Oh no, am I still here? Because it's
You
been.
are still here. You are no longer still here. You were here. And when you said, am I still here? You were, but it looks like you are not here. Yes, France, challenging. It is all sorts of things, I'm sure. You sound like you're out and about. Are you at a cafe? It's classic.
No, I'm at the hotel in Marseille.
Okay, you're in Marseille. So you are. So did you get to see the tomb yet?
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Okay. Well,
Yes,
how
that's
are you?
tomorrow.
How's your heart? How's it going? How's my sister?
Oh, and man, it's been surreal, man. It's been surreal. I was like, I ain't talked to Martin in a long time. I'm gonna get on here, but it's been really surreal. It's like it's a dream come true, but then it's like, what the hell? Then it's like, yay. Then it's like, what the hell? Then it's like, yay. Then it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's been surreal. It's like it's real, but it's like, oh, this is yeah, right. Okay. At any rate, it's been challenging because I don't know the language, and and then trying to figure out, okay, where do I get off the train? I don't even understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So
And
I
that's not.
listen for keywords. Just listen for keywords. I'm like, this must be it. And then I had to ask somebody, and then showing them paper, learning how to talk without words. Okay,
Yes.
that is, and it's worked so far.
Yeah,
Because I
it's
done made
definitely
through.
challenging and scary, and you get ahead of yourself, and you're like, I can't communicate, and then that gets in your head, and when that's in your head, you can't communicate,
Oh,
and
that part
like,
don't bother me. That part didn't bother me so much as that I thought I tried to have some measure of control by making tour guide plans and all that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
And the cave tour guide canceled on me in the last minute. The Eiffel Tower person canceled on me at the last minute, and somebody else
Wow.
canceled. But then they rescheduled. That was at the Louvre. So I actually got the only place I had a guide for to learn all the history because I wanted all the history of this stuff. That's why I was hiring guides. Um,
Yeah.
and was at the Louvre. The rest of it I've had to wing it, and winging it is kind of fun when you're lost in the city and you don't know nobody and don't know nothing, and then they drop you off at
Yeah.
a closed restaurant in the middle of the night. So I was like, what the hell? So it's been it's been fun. It's been exhilarating, and it's showing me what the hell I'm made of. Okay, it's showing
Yes.
me what I'm made of, and I'm like, yes, I am healed because I haven't been scared at all. You know what I mean? It's more,
Good.
okay, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, how do I get there? So I've had to go to the old ingenuity, and I had to find the right people. So I contacted the church, and then I emailed one of the vicars at the Mary Magdalene Church, and then he said, okay, we'll talk to the people at this other place, and the people didn't email me back. So I'm just going up there tomorrow. Okay,
Good.
shit, I don't even give a freak. Okay, I just like I did
That's
the
right.
IRS. I just roll up on them. Okay, but
That's
because I know
right.
once I'm there, I can get in. Okay, but I'm taking a chance by because it's like 45 minutes to an hour from here by Uber because the lady was supposed to pick me up from the hotel. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
okay. So it's challenging in that aspect because I'm having to question my every thought because I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Is this right? Do I go here? Do I do that? Do I do this? And more so than anything else, because if I make a serious mistake, it could cost me some money, and then it cost me being somewhere hell I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, it costs you time and money. Like sometimes it
Yes.
don't cost you money, but it costs you a whole day.
Yeah, so I was lucky that
You know, it
the
could.
hotel I booked was right next to where the train stopped, so I did have all that right. But because,
Right.
like I said, because the tour guide canceled, I still got to have it's like an hour, like I said, hour Uber from here to
Mm.
them to hopefully they let me do what I got to do. So I'm gonna leave early in the morning. Huh?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find somebody who speak English. I'm hoping that they were. This is Lois. I did not email just one person in the church. I emailed everybody who had an email, the same letter, so that somebody would respond because I had been trying to get this tour rescheduled. And quite frankly, the way I'm doing it now is it's testing my skills, and then it's also going to even save me money on the long run. You
Well,
know.
good.
So yeah, I came to pick a number. I want to pick number. I got to go to something 80 tomorrow. So the address I'm going to is 80 something. So put this to ever 80.
Okay, well, 80, here we are. Now, once again, and you and I have gone through this before, the idea of like talking about a country or whatnot, that's always you. And I'm gonna use a special translation that I've been looking at.
Okay.
In a little state with a small population, I would s- I would so order it that though there were individuals with the abilities of tens or you know what? This is a harder translation. I'm gonna go back to what we know.
Okay.
If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but they don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it.
Mm,
That's a
wow.
tough one.
Well, you know what? It's only tough for me because I kept switching back to me being the country and me being in another country.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the only reason that. But as I'm here, the things are so much more simple. They're much more relaxed. At least here in the south of France, they're much more
Yeah.
relaxed and it's like it has its hood. I mean, it actually has a hood. Okay, yeah, it actually has a hood because you see all the graffiti and all that kind of stuff. But they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The people who don't care, they're just like, hey, we're just living our lives and we're minding our own business, handling our own stuff. And that's kind of like what I've had to do in my country as my body is like I can't be concerned with what everybody else doing, like the people in the pool speaking another language, having fun. I forgot my bathing suit. But I can't be concerned that okay, I can't get in the pool right now. I'm just gonna enjoy wherever I am to the fullest of where I am, and whatever happens, happens. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm going up there tomorrow, spending all this money to go up there tomorrow, even though I don't know this what's gonna happen. But I believe that I'm gonna be able to go and make that hike and go into the caves. You
Yeah.
know. For me, this is kind of like listening to it from both edges, because I'm seeing it. I'm actually seeing the people so relaxed and so happy and and then everything. I mean, this is one of the oldest cities, port cities,
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
oldest. Okay, and I'm like, oh my goodness, because then you can tell it's a little bit ragged, but the people are just so happy go lucky. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And I can say again, let's go back to me. And then me, I'm going through all this with all these challenges, with don't know where I'm at, can't speak the language, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just so happy go lucky anyway. You know, the little baby's walking to
Yeah.
me on the train. I sent the baby on the train, and he's kept coming over to me. And then when I get here, you know, I have this thing about cats because I have allergies. As soon as I get here, lay on this beach chair, the cat walked over. The black cat walked over to me and just started staring. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you too, cat. Okay, so for me, it's kind of like, I mean, because it's but the truth that says, Mom, cats like you wherever you go. I don't even know why you didn't think the cat was you was gonna find no cats that followed you in in France. So I thought, and so it's kind of like my piece is still here. That babies and animals that don't even know me feel, you know what I mean? Feel that
Yeah.
sense, and they just. I took a picture of the little baby. He was so cute because I was like, oh my god. I didn't take a picture of the first one, but it's been surreal. It's been surreal. I like that I'm experiencing this different country stuff within my body and within natural outside my body. So I guess that was the right one for me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
You
know.
know, and it's good to be able to, just look at it in a different way, and to be able
Yeah.
to see it in a new way. Because there's
Yes.
nothing there's no yeah, it's so beautiful to be able to look at it from a new point of view, to
Yeah,
look
from a
at
new
it from
lens.
yeah, from a new lens, and then you can bring this with you. You can bring this with you to grow when you get home. You can bring this
Yes.
experience with you. And the thing is like you're in a whole new country and you're having all of these new experiences, and yet they're all very similar. They're all the
Yeah.
same sort of experiences you would have here in a new place. You wouldn't have the language problem, but you still have to communicate, and that's not a problem for you anyway.
No, that's not, and that's what I'm finding out. I'm like, even though I don't know the language, I'm finding ways to communicate with my hands, with. Today I actually used the telephone app, the translate thing, to ask for what time was breakfast in the morning, so I don't miss breakfast because I've been missing breakfast because I've been out late trying to. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've been having fun. I ain't gonna tell you
Yeah.
a lie. I've been having fun. Now I haven't been able to go dancing anywhere, which that's kind of like, but as far as exploring and stuff, and the walking and the looking and the thing, and now I can say this: if I ever had just about anybody else coming from another country into the United States and not speaking the language, I have a lot more respect for them. I'm talking about you, Gabriella. Okay, I think I saw Gabriella down
Mm-hmm.
there. But yeah, it's coming from another country, not knowing anyone, not knowing the language, not knowing the directions, not knowing how to read the signs of how the streets work. Because these streets here and in France are twisty, turny, windy, and it's like they make no sense. Like in the States, our streets are linear in straight lines. So to me, it's
Right.
kind of like the streets out here represent real life because
Mm-hmm.
nothing is linear in real life. So I've already had so many epiphanies as to what the hell are they doing? What? Wait, we just went in a circle, and we didn't go in a circle. We just went switched back around the corner. I was like, so I stopped watching
Yeah.
because I got confused. I'm thinking, okay, but yeah. So when we open ourselves up to this experiences like this, we can't do nothing but grow. Because like I said, I'm learning what the fuck I'm made of. I'm being straight up. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize. I did. Now I have a greater respect for my fucking self. Okay, shit. That's like, and
It's
I was respecting myself pretty good already.
yeah, no, it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal to be able to do that, to be able to know yourself in this way, and to be able to, because what that's going to do when you get home is you're going to be able to, if we go back to this, you're going to be able to like dearly love this because
Yes.
you've done this. I was, I don't know I think you know, like I'm writing a translation of the Tao, and one of the things that I was talking about in one of the chapters was this idea of like, if you only know movement, then your movements are wasted. But if you know stillness, then every move you make contributes to your wholeness.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, so
That's true.
if you didn't know stillness, this whole trip could just be vanity. But
Yeah.
you get to have this trip and it just contribute not only to your life, but to the life of those around you and the lives of those that you interact with because you know stillness. You
Yeah.
know how to be still, and so you know how to benefit from movement rather than let movement just entertain you for the time you are moving.
Yes. And I recognize this too. That I was talking about balance before I left, and to me, this the contrast, no contrast, contrast, that stuff is keeping my vibration high and me in balance. So I needed to have the plans fall through. I needed to come here and everybody's canceling on me because
Yep.
the way I had it, it was gonna flow real easy. It's gonna like, hey, bam, bam, boom, I'm done. But this
Right.
way, it has not been bam, bam, boom. It's like, what, huh? Okay, what do I do
Mm-hmm.
now? Okay, where do I go now? Oh, what, huh? What do I do
Yeah.
now? And then people like to take advantage of people who don't know. But
That's right.
I
Nope, you cut out. Why don't you come back up and we'll wrap that up. There we are.
Yeah, I was saying that people still, no matter where you are, people are gonna try and take advantage of you if you think you don't know something, if they think they can. And even though I tell them I know that they doing whatever, I'm like, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. You know what I
That's right.
mean? Because it's like, I don't feel like dealing with that bullshit. I ain't gonna get mad at you because you're trying to cheat me. I just want to get where I'm going here. I don't care. Okay?
Right.
And look at me like, for real? Really? I mean, the one first driver, the cab driver, he was shocked. He's like, "You really gonna give me? I'm gonna give you a tip." I said, "I know it didn't take that much to get here, but hey, that's okay. Evidently you need it."
When when I was in Guatemala, like I got one of these tuk tuks, you know, it's just this three-wheeled vehicle,
Uh huh.
and I didn't give a damn like how much I was gonna have to pay. I wanted to get something. I wanted to get to the next town. It was the day I got out of the dark retreat. I just
Right.
needed to be kind of cared for, you know. And I speak Spanish, and he gave me a price. I was like, I've heard, like I know you're gonna give me. I know you're cheating me a little bit, but like I don't care. Just take me in, get me to where I'm
That's
going, and
that
and I'll
part.
give you that. I'll give you that. I don't give a damn.
There it is, and that's what I felt when I first got off the plane in here, and that's what I felt when I was going somewhere, going back to the Eiffel Tower for the night show after going to the designer stores.
Yeah.
I had to get them. To go into the designer district and hitting those the big name designers in Paris. And because I was in the area, she figured, hey, I'm gonna cheat you. And I only had a mile to go, but I was tired of walking. Okay, I had walked for like
Yeah.
3 miles, and I was like, hey, go ahead. And so I got in back of one of them bicycles, rolled around. She had to go for about a quarter mile, and I just didn't care. I was like you. I just wanted to get to where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know
And
what? Like, I'm blessed to be here. So,
okay, and
you know,
it's that part that keeps me in such a good frame of mind, because hey, I mean, I was actually denied service at a restaurant, and I
really?
was dressed better than everybody there, so it wasn't my clothes. Okay, and they just pull people in and like, come, no, no use, no. I was like, well, damn, excuse me, but I recognize that wasn't me.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I said. But it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't me because
No.
that wasn't my energy. Because the very next place I went to, they were like falling all over me, and they made my food where I didn't get sick. So to me,
Yeah.
I'd rather go somewhere that fall all over me and make my food where I don't get sick than try to argue with somebody as to why they letting everybody else go and not me. Shit. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
not supposed to be here. but yeah, so it's been, and like I said, it's been surreal. It's been everything, and in it being everything, I am so utterly satisfied. You know,
Mm.
I mean, I don't even,
And
I
that's
can't
the
even
thing.
explain it.
And that's what this number 80 is really talking about, is being satisfied where you are. And
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you don't travel. It doesn't mean you don't go places. It just means be satisfied being you where you are.
yeah, and that's and
And
that's
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 what
what I love.
this whole verse is all about. That it's like you are here, observe it, be here. Don't strive to have something other than what you have, because
Yeah,
what you have is yours. This is your experience. And like, just like, I mean, we talked about like my dark retreat, just like my, like the infamous scorpion story, right? It
yes,
wasn't about
yes,
it's not about it being bad or good. It's about it really changing the trajectory. And this is what I have. This is my experience. Let
yeah.
me relish this experience no matter what it is.
And that part when I was going through that being denied service, I was thinking about being stung by a scorpion. I was like, at least I wasn't stung by a scorpion.
It's
I'm serious.
and
I'm so serious. But I was
it's
hungry
all
that
just
day.
your experience.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So your experience helped me because that's what did pop in my head. Is wait a minute, she denied me. I'm starving like Marvin, and she denied me. I can't believe this. And I said, but hell, I didn't get stung by a scorpion. On to the next. And I went to the next
On to
place,
the
and they
next.
said, "Oh, come on."
Come on.
So
Come
yeah,
on.
so
This is where
it's
you
been.
belong. You're home now.
Hey, there it is. There it is. And there it was. So I thank you. Let me get off your stage so you can talk to somebody else.
Yeah,
But I had to
thank you
come and
so
talk to
much,
my
Lois.
brother. I love you, Marvin.
Absolutely. I'm so
Martin.
glad
I'm
you're
saying, talk to
safe,
you,
and
Martin.
we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Martin. Okay.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Oh, to spend a little vacation time with Lois. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Look at what we get to do. So, as you guys know, I am writing a version of the Tao, and I wanted to, yesterday I wrote 27, and 27 is a classic, um, and it is about being a good traveler. And I wrote a version of this, and I'd love to share it with you while I don't have anybody in line. Although a good traveler may have plans, they are not rigid, nor is the outcome. Although a good artist creates, creations are arrived at through intuition. Although a good scientist observes, it is done for the first time, every time. Embodying these strategies, the master accepts everyone and makes use of every situation. Nothing is wasted, and every moment is imbued with light. What is the good if not the vision for the bad? What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? Accept this completely, or you will suffer in all that you do. It is the great secret. So, how I understood this piece and how I laid it out was about this idea that, like, just like Lois was talking about, in my experience with the scorpion, is yeah, we have plans, but if we keep to those plans rigidly, it's going to cause us grief. If we are wed to the outcome, that too will cause us grief. We want to be able to step up and travel in whatever capacity, whether it's physically or mentally or anything. We want to be able to travel from one point to another without having to have a rigid plan of how that's supposed to go, without having to have an outcome that has to happen. You know, every outcome, no matter what, is just a moment in time because it is contributing to your experience. So the outcome of everything is that you are going to die. And no matter what, everything between your birth and your death is just contributing to that. It is not like I can have an outcome for a project, but what that project actually is an experience that I'm having. And that's the real part of that. Everything else is just manifestation. Everything else is just here in the world. Although a good artist creates, creations are arrived at through intuition. And so anytime you utilize creativity, anytime you try and do anything, whether it's a project or anything, you have to be able to let go of those outcomes, just like we said with a good traveler. Because an artist travels through each piece, right? Like there's the beginning, the middle, and the finished piece, the finished product. We have to be able to arrive at those things without being rigid. We have to let our intuition guide us through the creation process. And although a good scientist observes, a good scientist does it the first time, every time, meaning they're not bringing preconceived ideas. So if you get into a relationship, you don't bring preconceived ideas into your relationship, into this relationship, because this relationship is fresh and new. And this is what it is. This is your experience. Of course, those past ones contributed to your experiences, but you want to be able to approach these fresh. And you want to be able to not have an outcome in mind. You want to be able to not have expectations when you walk up to those things. And then I wanted to talk about the master, is that's what we do here. And this is what the master does to be able to get to this place by embodying these strategies, by embodying the idea that as a good traveler, I don't have rigid plans that I have to stick to, and I don't have an outcome that I'm needing to achieve. As a good artist, I'm allowing my intuition to guide the way without me having to dictate how it needs to be expressed. And as a good scientist, I am holding on to the idea that this is the first time that I've ever done this. Can I observe this? Can I observe this without expectation? Can I observe this without preconceived ideas of what it's supposed to be? And so by embodying those strategies, the master accepts everyone and makes use of every situation. Just like Lois was saying, she was refused service somewhere, and so she went to another place and she made use of that. And she made use also of the story that she heard from me about my dark retreat when I got stung by the scorpion. She was like, at least I didn't get stung by a scorpion, putting into perspective her experience. Nothing is wasted and every moment is imbued with light. It has to be said. If she's not, like, a lot of people would get upset and irate about being denied service. But she was able to step away from that and go to the next place. And she was able to do that because that moment was imbued with light. Why was it imbued with light? Because she was a good traveler. Her plans weren't rigid. She wasn't wed to the outcome. She allowed intuition to guide her to the next place, and she was able to observe it for the first time rather than saying, oh, it's because of my race, it's because of how I'm dressed, it's because of this, it's because of that, whatever it is. She was denied service, and that was fine because she wasn't in control. What is the good if not a vision for the bad? What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? Within each of us, there is a good and a bad. There is that part of us that wants to eat Oreos all night. And then there's the part of us that wants to have a salad or wants to eat better, whatever that better means to us at this moment. And what is the good? What is the good if not a vision for the bad? The bad part of us can look at that and say, that's what I aspire to. What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? When we do bad, when we do things that are bad, the good part of our brain can come in. So if we were to get upset, like when I got scared with my MS diagnosis, that was a lesson for the good mind of myself, the good part of me that knows how to be calm, to step out of the way and review that. Now, if we don't review the bad things that are going on in our life, we don't review the bad responses that we make, if we don't review the things that we would prefer not to do, then it's not a lesson. But that's a big aspect of why I wrote it in this way. What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? Because when we do bad things, when we do things that we refer to as bad or don't like that we do, well then the good side of us, the strong, good part of us needs to be able to review those. And when we can review those, then we can really start to enhance our lives. And then, um, and then this one wraps up. Accept this completely. Accept the fact that there is good and there is bad, and we are responding to this could be a bad situation, but how did we respond to it? How are we doing all of these things? How are we allowing ourselves to be a good traveler? How are we allowing ourselves to be a good artist? How are we allowing ourselves to be a good scientist? And when we can balance out that good and bad and the bad and good, like if we have to put a name to it, then we can accept that completely. And if we don't accept that completely, we'll suffer in all that we do. This is the great secret. Because if you do something that you don't like that you did, in hindsight, you can learn from it, and then you won't suffer. So that is my 27, and I wanted to read that because it came to mind when we were talking about 80 with Lois. So this is Tao of the Day. I'm your host, Martin John. I love you guys so much. It's so wonderful to share the Tao with you. I hope you are all having a wonderful Monday. And if you benefit from the work I do, consider giving me a tip through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia. If you are interested in learning more about my translation of the Tao, it will be for sale through my website. Within probably the next couple weeks, I'm going to be going over it, and there's notes in under each chapter as well, just kind of explaining a little bit more. And I would love to be able to utilize uh, my translation of the Tao as the cornerstone of Tao of the Day once I'm done using it. So, thank you so much for attending this Tao of the Day. Once again, I'm your host, Martin John, and I host the Recover Yourself podcast. If you're interested in recovering to who you are, recovering all that you can be, you want to get in touch with me through my website, martinjohn.com. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.